Oh, okay.
Here we go. Oh.
Bit of wheel spin.
0 100 in. What happens when you put a 5-litre V8 inside of a Corolla Cross?
Nothing good. I can tell you that much.
Nothing we'll ever find out, because this is the GR Sport. It's essentially a Corolla Cross that's meant to look extremely sporty. And it does have some sporty credentials. It's been lowered, it's been given some sporty aero treatment, and it costs a lot of money. $50,990 before on-road costs. That's the same as the top of the range Corolla Cross, the Atmos. So they sit side by side, but this looks cooler. However, it comes with less equipment.
It's a weird proposition, man.
Weird proposition, and we're going to tell you everything you need to know about the GR Sport and why it's probably too flawed to pick over an Atmos. But we'll come back to why a bit later. We'll take a tour of the exterior, check out the practicality, the interior. What is sporty about that? We're going to launch it. Is it faster than a regular Corolla Cross Atmos, the top of the range?
Even with both of us in it?
Find out. And then we're going to drive it, see just how it drives. How does the lowered suspension, the different suspension, the performance modes, how do they make this thing drive? And then we'll get into our final thoughts. Should you be rushing out to buy yourself an over $50,000 Corolla Cross before on-roads? Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
So the whole range kicks off. You definitely do not have to spend $50,990. It kicks off at $37,490, and that is for the GX. Probably wouldn't go for that, you know, fleet spec. What I would do though is spend the extra money and go for the GXL. It's $41,190 for the front wheel drive, which is all most people actually need, and that is by far the sweet spot. So I'm just gonna tell you right now, that's the spec I would go for. However, you cannot deny that the facelifted Corolla Cross in this new GR Sport trim looks insanely good.
Dude, I have to admit, it's the best looking Corolla Cross. However, I really didn't like the look of the Atmos Hybrid for the facelift.
Which I did, not everyone did. Let us know in the comment section what you think about the looks. I mean, this kind of brings it back because it puts back a normal grille, but it looks so nice, especially with this red paint exclusive to this GR Sport. It's hot.
That's hot.
It's a hot car.
It's hot. You have a black Toyota badge there, some black trimming there too. This massive grille. Still, of course, it's still a hybrid. It's actually got the same powertrain as the rest of the range. So you have a lot of it actually plugged up, but still a bunch of aero there too. GR, proudly spelt out Gazoo Racing, if you didn't know what that meant. So GR is their performance division. You can get a GR Corolla or you can get a GR Sport, which is the looks, but not.
Or you can get a GR86 or a GR Supra.
You can do all those. It means you get things like fake intercooler vents here, which obviously are not real. It's all plugged up for aerodynamics. You do have some functional aero there though, but I don't know, man. It just,
I love the lowered stance, and the splitter down the bottom looks really cool.
So this thing's been lowered by about 15 millimeters, and you've got this spoiler that runs across and just gives it a very good look. However, I have already noticed that it has scratched a couple of times when we were just filming turning around. So this car is lower to the ground, and therefore, if you go over some slightly higher bumps, it's gonna scratch.
100%.
Let's check out the side.
Let's do it.
Now, coming to the side, you're gonna see these 19-inch alloy wheels. Again, they look so nice. Got this cool, like, blacked out chrome look to them.
Really awesome wheels.
Gorgeous. You've also got a sticker for your brakes, and they're painted red. I'm pretty certain they're the same brakes.
Bro, everyone knows that if they're painted red and they've got a sticker, they stop harder.
Yeah, that's an interesting choice. Also, as you'll find, these wheels, they kind of impact on ride quality. Doesn't help that it's lowered and on bigger wheels. That's always gonna hurt your ride. They're also wrapped in some tires here, which again is not gonna be great for efficiency because they're performance tires, which is cool. These Yokohama Advan Flever. They got some flavor to them. Yeah. They're a pretty low profile tire, but they're a performance tire. And again, that's just never going to be good for efficiency, is it? Props to Toyota for giving it some sporty credentials, because it definitely has the sportiness without the engine sportiness. HEV, it's kind of the telling sign there. It's still a hybrid engine. You have a 360 camera. It's not a very good 360 camera, but hey, at least you get it. Blacked out mirror caps, and I like the two-tonedness of this car, actually.
Yeah, actually, you can get the black roof on the Atmos Hybrid as well, but it looks really cool on this one.
Especially with the red. Keyless entry and go. Very tinted privacy glass as well. It kind of comes back to some of the things we've seen in some other Toyotas recently, like the Yaris Cross that had some paneling that just wasn't really plugged in. And here you can see this black plastic here is already completely like washed out.
Yeah, man.
So it's not surviving in the Australian climate.
Dude, this car is brand new, by the way. It's
brand
got
spanking
500 kilometers on it.
So yeah, that's not all that great. This plastic is starting to become a bit grey, when it should be black. Anyway, let's check out the bum.
Let's do it.
The bum on this thing is, I think, the least cool angle of the car.
It just looks the same.
Yeah, it doesn't look sporty really in any way. You have these fully LED lights though at the back, and by the way, fully LED lights at the front, and they're very bright too. You've got your blacked out Toyota badge there, Corolla Cross proudly spelt out, and a very slightly different bumper, but otherwise it looks very, very similar to before.
At least you get a GR Sport badge.
Oh, I didn't even say that. You're right, you do. And an HEV badge, so everyone knows you're saving the planet.
While also
Gazoo racing.
supporting Toyota supercars.
Ups to you. Let's check out what it can fit in its bum. Powered tailgate.
It's very loud, isn't it?
It's very loud. It's kind of embarrassing. There you go. Just need to help it a little bit. Now, if you go for an all-wheel drive variant of the Corolla Cross, you're gonna get less space. You're gonna get 380 litres of boot space, though if you remove that electric motor, then you've got 425 litres. And that's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
It's a decent amount of space, actually, and way better than a regular Corolla, that is for sure. You've got a giant subwoofer there, by the way, and some storage to the side. It's not the most useful storage, but hey, at least you get some. You've also got a tyre inflation kit. You see, if you lift it all the way up, there is space for, I guess, a full-size spare if you didn't have this all-wheel drive componentry right here. So, yeah, if you go for the all-wheel drive, it just does mean that you're a bit more hamstrung versus the front-wheel drive, where you could fit at least a space-saver spare wheel in there.
Yeah, it's a bit of a miss, unfortunately. You don't even get a space saver.
Don't go around the nullarbor in this thing, all right?
I mean, you probably could.
You can also drop the rear seats, and then that extends the boot space to quite a large amount. So it's actually a very practical little SUV. Let's check out the interior.
Let's do it.
Alrighty.
Tinny.
It's got a bit of a tinny sound to it.
Yeah.
Look, it's a cheaper Toyota, all right?
At 51 grand before onwards.
You get what you pay for. So I actually really like the overall design. I think it looks good, even though it is a sea of black plastics. Who cares? It looks snazzy. All right?
I actually really like the interior.
I'm not saying it looks snazzy. All right? You got soft touch materials here and here and here, but this,
Oh no.
it's a little bit on the scratchy end. All right. And this is, I think this is what we're gonna find. You got quite a lot of good in here. You know, a little bit of poopy. I like the steering wheel. This is a GR specific steering wheel. It's got the GR badge on it and red stitching. It's still the same steering wheel as you would get. Otherwise, it just looks, it looks a bit cooler. Feels nice to hold in the hands. You've got buttons here to control everything, including your digital instrument display, which is the same you'd find across the range. Nothing really GR-y about it, to be fair, but it does show plenty of information. You can customize it to your heart's content.
It's actually pretty good, and you get Google Maps directions on it as well.
Oh, thank God for that. Thank God for that.
Otherwise, we'd be lost.
You have a big infotainment display here. I say it's big, it's like 10 point something inches, and it's fine. It's got wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. It is connected to a JBL sound system, which sounds schmick.
It's awesome.
Really good. Just turn down the bass a little bit, and you're gonna be blasting tunes all day. I promise you that. Sounds really, really good. But otherwise, the display itself is snappy enough. It's fine. It's not gonna blow your socks off, but it's Toyota. You know, it's good for a Toyota.
That's not great.
That's not great. The air conditioning controls. Physical, functional, I like this a lot. Very logically laid out, but we have to get to a bad thing, all right? I've got to intersperse this with bad. What are these switches?
Dude, they feel like they belong in a bloody 1993 Corolla.
Yeah. So if you go for the Atmos, not only do you get heated seats, by the way, you get cooled seats, you also get better buttons. Same with the steering wheel. This is not heated. You've got a blank switch where the heating should be, which you get in the Atmos, same price.
Dude, that's just wild. I find it so wild that they've deleted those things.
It is wild, especially when you consider that so much of this interior is just the same, but with a different badge on it. For example, these seats, they look really sporty. They feel quite nice. Got the GR badge in them as well. However, they're pretty much the same shape as a regular Corolla, all the way down to their base model Corollas. So you're gaining some nicer materials and the GR badging, but not much more. So there is that. I like the shifter.
It's nice. It's
physical.
solid.
That feels good. You have a few buttons here, one of which is extremely useless, EV mode.
Can't use it above like 13 kilometers an hour.
Yeah, and it also never works. The battery's never at a state of charge, which allows you to work it. Drive mode selected there as well. You have a wireless charger here and what looks like a wireless charger, but it is not. You got a couple of cup holders here, a pretty massive storage bin there too. Door bins are actually a decent size as well. Back to the bad.
Uh-oh.
I wouldn't leave you too long. So, you got a sunroof.
Why is that bad?
The issue is that this sunroof, it doesn't open.
So that means it's a moonroof.
A fixed sunroof, which sucks. It looks like it should open because there's a giant bar that goes between it for bracing, but it doesn't open. Like that's just odd to me.
It's whack.
I think the interior is nice.
It just doesn't win any medals, you know?
But if you compare it to something like a Geely Starro, which is $10,000 less than this, that has a much nicer interior. So if the Chinese can do it, I think the Japanese can do it as well.
They can.
I believe in you.
If the Tokyo Motor Show has shown us anything, It's that they can do it.
with a lot of concept cars.
Exactly.
So let's check out the back seats.
Let's do it.
Yeah, alrighty.
Oh, even tinnier.
Back seats. This is where things go really south very quickly for the Corolla Cross. So this is a small SUV, but it's not the smallest SUV because that would be the Yaris Cross. And the Yaris Cross is a lot smaller in the back, but this is not great. So at 5'11", sitting behind myself, I don't really have much leg room at all. Room is actually quite good. However, you're sitting inwards from the driver and the passenger, and there's a giant hump in the floor here. So your legs end up being turned like this.
Ooh.
It is a bit of an ooh situation, right? It's just not the greatest. The other thing, quality back here, like this panel is popped out and I can't get it to quite fit.
And once again, this is brand new.
I'm the
first person to pick up this car.
It's a brand new car. Also some other things like that's all scratchy material, so is that, but that's nice and soft. You also get a cup holder in the door, which is really cool, but you get that because there is zero door bin or other storage back here. You get a couple of air vents, which is nice to have, and a couple of fast USB-C chargers. By the way, I could only find one USB-C charger up front, which is weird.
That is weird.
And a 12-volt socket-walkie that lives inside of your soft center armrest. The seats back here, they're also pretty nice as well. Drop this down. You get a nice soft center armrest with a couple of cup holders too, and one map pocket, and that is for the passenger side and not for the driver's side.
You know what? You get one, and you got to be happy with it.
This is the thing though, right? I know it's a Toyota, so you're getting things like one, reliability. They are just reliable. Two, you're getting good resale value. They do hold their value very, very well. However, 50 grand for this is a little bit disappointing.
I have to agree, and I was kind of expecting more from the GR Sport model.
Me too. And not less.
Yeah.
Just like you can expect more with CarSauce Buy. That's right. If you don't want to pay what this car is charging you, then you should use CarSauce Buy. We have thousands of Aussies who have used our service. We negotiate on your behalf to get you the best price on any new car. And best of all, it is obligation free. Until you actually decide you want to go and buy the car, you don't have to commit to anything. That's pretty good.
And you don't have to pay for anything until you pay for the car. So yeah, well done to us.
Big ups us. So if that sounds good to you, scan the QR code on the screen now or just Google CarSauce Buy and join thousands of happy Aussies when they want to buy their new car and when they have bought their new car.
No need to get metaphysical.
I feel like we're doing the world a service here. Let's launch it.
Let's do it.
Alrighty, Daddy Jacob.
All right, friend, we are in the GR Sport. This better be bloody quick, all right?
We got last time 7.66 seconds.
Yes.
This should be faster.
It should be faster, but remember, there's two of us in the car now.
That is true.
All right, and I weigh 133 kilos, and you weigh 216,000 kilos.
Here we go. Wait. Sorry, we got to put it in the new sport mode.
Oh, snow extra.
Why is the first mode it goes into snow extra? Here we go.
Sport. Let's do it.
Here we go.
Oh, bit of wheel spin. Come on.
That feels kind of sporty.
That feels all right. Okay,
this is kind of quick.
Okay. What the hell, man?
0-100 in 7.84 seconds.
I knew we were heavy, but I didn't know we were that heavy. It's slower.
I'm just going to say it. It's slower.
It's slower.
All right. Let's drive this thing normally.
Let's do it.
Alrighty. Daddy Jacob. We got to respect the laws here.
You must respect.
There's 2 cones
respect.
in the road.
All right, don't hit the cones. Don't do a bloody slalom.
Oh, the fuel average just went up. I just saw it tick up from 5.7 to 5.8.
God damn it, bro. And this is what I'm saying, man. This is what I'm saying about the GR Sport.
Okay.
They haven't upgraded the horn.
You know what they did do, though? They put in snow extra. I feel like that's new. Let's sport, baby. Let's go.
Oh. The energy flow is flowing.
Gotta say, like, it's consistently powerful, all right? A 2-litre...
Very linear.
Naturally aspirated Atkinson cycle engine, may I say.
Very efficient.
This thing has, I believe, 3 electric motors. You got 2 at the front. One is like an integrated starter generator, so it's hardly an electric motor. But you'd also have one on the rear. It's like literally several kilowatts, so it's not very much. It's just to assist you in taking off.
Just to assist the enhanced traction. Oh.
But total system output is 146 kilowatt of power. They don't claim torque, but you're probably looking somewhere like low 300s.
Yeah.
Let's just say 307. 307.
I'm going to say 286.
Let's see if that comes up on Google Gemini, because they scrape our videos.
Oh, yeah.
It comes with 307 newton meters of torque.
Yeah. Now, if you read an AI slop generated response, you might be wrong.
So, what's different for the GR Sport? Wow, fuel economy is now to 6.1 litres.
I'm telling you, man.
What's going on?
I've been driving this thing exclusively in eco all week, and I have not been getting the same fuel economy as I got in the Atmos Hybrid.
Yeah, obviously this spoiler, the wheels,
the downforce.
Yeah, they all kind of attack your fuel economy in some way.
Yep.
But I must say as well, so this thing is lowered 15 millimeters. It's got its own suspension tune. It's got its own engine tune here because we're in sport mode. Wow, 6.3 liters. We're really climbing up.
We are climbing up the range.
This is giving me range anxiety. Yeah, this thing, it definitely drives different to a Corolla Cross, like the Atmos. The only thing is, the Atmos drove so well, and we know that from your review.
Such a good car, man. Such a good car.
It was just so well balanced.
Yeah.
Whereas this just feels firm.
Yeah.
While also still having the issues that any SUV would have, which is body roll. So now we have a firm Toyota Corolla Cross with quite a lot of body roll. So I don't really, I understand what they were going for, right? Which is to make something that not just looks sporty, but has some sporty credentials to it. Having said that,
does this car need it?
It doesn't need it. You could have just done the body kit and left it with a really good suspension as before. Like,
just
look at
done
this.
a body kit.
Bullbuster.
That was fine. It still does a good job of damping. It's definitely much firmer than before, and I don't feel like it handles
Handles really well.
Better. Oh, it handles well, but the other one handled really well too.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. The all-wheel drive, okay, you're in sport mode. That's a new mode for this GR Sport.
But it had power before.
Exactly. So they've just renamed the power mode to sport mode.
I'm sure that they've done, throttle calibration and stuff like that. But there's
Maybe.
only so much you can do with
the same exact powertrain.
Exactly. That's also powertrain designed for efficiency and not for performance.
Look, do I love the exterior look?
Oh,
yes.
man.
Do I love these GR Sport seats? Absolutely. But
There is a real firm edge to the ride, though,
Yeah.
and that would put me off immediately.
100%, man. 100% agree.
Versus the regular Corolla Cross, which is just so good.
Yeah.
All right, let's go up. Let's see what 15 millimeter
You know
lower center of gravity. What does that do?
This is where our mind might change.
Tickle me. Here we go.
You've been tickled. Good takeoff. Extremely torquey with its 286 Newton meters of torque.
Bro, I thought it was 301.
No,
right.
sorry, 307. Sorry. Oh. Ooh. Bit of actual rotation there.
I wonder if they
Is this a bloody GR Corolla?
I wonder if they changed the traction control systems.
Oh. Okay. You know what? I've changed my mind. Get the GR Sport. Just get it. I've changed my mind.
The fuel economy has become 20% worse in this one drive.
To be fair, I did reset it not that long ago, but yeah.
So we started at 5.8 litres, 5.7,
Yeah.
and now we're at 6.8
So
litres.
I think I was getting in the mid fives in the Corolla Cross Atmos, or maybe high fives. I've been getting mid sixes pretty consistently in this car, and that's driving in eco mode. So.
And really it's because it's got that sporty treatment, so it's not as aerodynamic.
No.
Lane centering and stuff like that, big ups. It's done a great job. It's not overbearing. It centers you in the lane. It keeps you a good distance from the car in front of you. They've actually calibrated the safety systems of this car very, very well.
Yeah. I don't know, man. You miss out on the cooled seats. You miss out on the heated steering wheel.
It's just why.
I just don't get it.
It's a bit of a, why would you?
I mean, unless your daily commute involves 3 saucy corners.
Yeah. And you need a Corolla
You really need that, extra rotation to get to work. I just don't see it, man.
All right, let's get into our final thoughts.
Let's do it.
Alrighty, Daddy Jacob.
No, you shouldn't.
It's a little hard to recommend, all right? Okay, if you want something that looks really cool and sporty, then I guess maybe. But then think about it. Would you rather this or a Lexus LBX?
I mean, an LBX is a lot smaller.
That's true, but it's still a Lexus LBX. And also not actually all that much smaller. It's fine, it's just hard to recommend considering it doesn't ride quite as well as you would want it to. It just feels a bit too sporty for what this thing actually offers. Yeah, it's got a really nice interior in some places. Back seats are very compromised, but that's across the range. The issue is that you're paying more, but you're getting less. So just go for the Atmos if you want top of the range, but really just go for a GXL and spend 40 grand and you'll be very happy.
I think it's a really good car for the price still. I just wouldn't be getting this spec.
Yeah, not in this spec. Let us know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Are you going to rush out and buy yourself a Corolla Cross? Like I said, it can be a good deal, but you definitely need to shop around. By the way, definitely use CarSauce Buy. Scan the QR code on your screen now, or just Google CarSauce Buy. A dedicated team of car buyers will negotiate for you because you don't deserve to pay this price.
No, we can do better.
Yeah, ciao for now.
Bye-bye.